Hey guys, welcome back to PristineZReads again. And today it's me and Shammah, and we're reviewing Lodestar, book number 5 in the Keeper of the Lost City series by Shannon Messenger. So this is the super spoiler video. If you would like no spoilers, please check out my no spoiler video. Yeah, so let's get started. I have a lot to say for the summary. So Lodestar picks up pretty much where Neverseen left off. Sophie's still reeling from the shock of having one of her closest friends betray her, and she's taking time to recover. While life at Foxfire and at Haven Fields continues like normal, passing her level 3 midterms and hanging out with her friends, helping Grady and Adeline at the Haven Field pastures, and staying in touch with Sylvanie, the loss of her friend is keenly felt, and after an encounter with Keith nearly gone wrong, Sophie's willing to force him to come back. When Sophie, Fitz, and Tam recover a mysterious symbol called the Lodestar from Prentice's memory, she thinks it could be the key, if only they could figure out what it means. Trying and failing to decode it, Sophie thinks their next best bet is to visit Gethin, the Neverseen's telepath, and try to trick some answers out of him. But Gethin is being held in solitude in Luminaria, and the security is tight, as the upcoming Peace Summit, which is a series of negotiations between all the intelligent species, requires no interruptions and must be firmly protected. And while trying to decode the symbol, they find out that Julene, Dex's mom, and Adeline's sister, is Squall, a member of the Black Swans Collective. I had an epic level freak out when I read that, by the way. But, yeah. Sophie and Fitz leap to meet Keith secretly, and after some pressure, Keith shows Sophie the memories he got back that made him think his mom wanted him to be part of the Neverseen. In the memory, Lady Gisela has a secret starstone instead of a crystal that leaps to a mysterious door labeled Nightfall. The door only unlocks with Keith's blood, though, and in the memory, Lady Gisela stabs Keith with her pin to get his blood to seal the door. Then she calls for her washer, a telepath that's specially trained to erase memories, and that's how Keith lost it. But then Grady, Alden, Sandor, and Grizzle, who's Fitz's new goblin bodyguard, find them, and then Sophie and Fitz are busted as Keith leaps to the Neverseen hideout. So they decipher the Lodestar symbol, figuring out that it's the way the Neverseen keep track of all of their hideouts and members. It could be converted to zeros, ones, hyphens, and asterisks, but it uses starlight channeled by starstones to lead the members to different hideouts. And Wiley gets kidnapped out of the Silver Tower by the Neverseen, tortured and interrogated, but then finally finds the strength to grab his leaping crystal and escape to the hideout where Prentice is. Physic keeps Wiley sedated, and Sophie communicates with him telepathically, finding out the details of his kidnapping. Turns out the Neverseen had been interrogating him about his mom, Syra, who died when her last light leap went tragically wrong, and she faded. They decided to investigate Syra's connection to the Neverseen further, and when Morella comes to them saying that she has some info from her mom, Caprice, who saw Syra make her final leap, and will give it to the Black Swan if Mr. Forkle triggers Morella's ability. So Mr. Forkle does it, and Morella tells them that her mom kept saying Syra should have been more careful over and over again, and she gave Morella an envelope as well. Sophie opens the envelope and finds a star stone inside. They assume that it's the one Syra made, as she was a flasher, which means she could manipulate light. Sandor, Grizzle, and Sophie Fitz leap using the Starstone and land in Candleshade, the Sensen home, in Lord Cassius's bedroom, of all places. Sophie concludes this proves Lady Gisela forced Syra to make those Starstones, and when she was done, the Neverseen killed her by leap. When they get back, Mr. Forkle throws them off by saying Sophie has another ability to manifest, and if she wants to trigger it, they should do it now before she grows too old for manifesting. So Sophie manifests as an enhancer, a rare ability that allows her to make any elf stronger with a touch of her fingertips. When Sophie, Fitz, Biana, Tam, Lynn, Dex, Sandor, Lovis, Walter, and Grizzle, Lovis and Walter are Biana and Dex's new goblin bodyguards, investigate the Silver Tower, Biana finds out that the Lodestar mirror, which reflects pure light, is actually pointing to the Sumerian mirror, which actually hides a secret room that the Neverseen have used. Tam then uses his shade ability to figure out, with Sophie enhancing him, that the room used to have a Lodestar gadget, and finds the shadow print of the gadget and leaps them to a never-seen hideout, where Brant, Alvar, Roy, and Keith are waiting for them. Roy traps Fitz and Tam in a force field, but Sophie evades him, and then Tam uses his shadows to break through the field, and Sophie inflicts on Alvar, Roy, Brant, and Keith. Then Fitz says they should take Brant, Roy, and Alvar as prisoners, and urges Keith to come back with them. But Keith says no, that the Neverseen have a much bigger plan and he needs to stay with them for a while, and that he can steal Kenrick's cache and get Vintan's too. So Keith grabs Alvar, saying that he's the least dangerous of the three, and gets Tam's crystal to Aluvater to trade for the cache info. Then Fitz, Tam, and Sophie grab Brant and Roy to take back with them. When they get back to the Silver Tower, the counselors are there, and they take the prisoners to Luminaria to keep them in the dungeon with Gethin. Grady, Edeline, and Lady Cadence get attacked by ogres that defected from Dimitar and allied with the Neverseen, and one of their goblin bodyguards dies. Then Sophie, Edeline, and Grady travel to the goblins' capital, Gildingham, to attend Brielle's, who is Grady's guard, her funeral. Meanwhile, Orly tells Sophie that her presence has been requested at the Peace Summit. Sophie's pretty surprised that they want her there, and Edeline will be her guardian because the leaders don't want Grady there because he's a mesmer. When the Peace Summit arrives, they travel to Luminaria, and during the first meeting, Fintan arrives and asks to be let into the proceedings. The other leaders, such as Queen Hilda of the Goblins, King Enki of the Dwarves, and Empress Pernille of the Trolls, are interested in hearing what Fintan has to say. So they vote, and the majority wants to hear from him. Then Gethin uses outward channeling, which is basically a telepathic function elves have that allow them to use their energy and shove it out of their bodies in some kind of force that creates physical, shocks through the earth to break the foundations of Luminaria. Gethin, Brant, Fintan, and the prisoner that belonged to a forgotten secret, which is secrets of the counselor's caches, escapes. Keith finally escapes from the Neverseen and meets Sophie in Luminaria, where they go to find Mr. Vorkle and Orly in the ruins, as they're missing. In the rubble, they find Orly, tending to a mortally wounded Mr. Vorkle. He says that Gethin tried to stab him, but Mr. Vorkle blocked him with a mind trick, and then killed Brant, which Gethin didn't like, so he killed Mr. Vorkle. Sophie is heartbroken. Mr. Vorkle was her creator, neighbor, her teacher, mentor, and like a father to her. He gives Sophie a little gadget with his memories of his last moments in it for her to give to the collective, and asks Orly to make Sophie a Wonderling seed with his hair and gives it to Sophie until the collective puts their contingency plan into place. Then Keith tells Sophie when he thought the Neverseen meant to attack Grady and Edeline. He thought that because the Neverseen said they had a plan for Sophie's family, and Keith thought they meant Grady and Edeline. The Neverseen did attack them, but Keith thinks they were after Lady Cadence. So if they weren't after Grady and Edeline, then why did they attack her family? Sophie doesn't know, except Keith thinks they meant her human family instead. So Sophie, Fitz, and Keith quickly visit Sophie's old house to see if her human family is all right. The house is too quiet, and it smells like ash, the way the Neverseen disguise their tracks from goblin senses. They're not there, but upon searching the house, Sophie's met with her human sister, Amy, terrified and without her parents. The end. It's like such a cliffhanger, I know. Messenger specializes in that. But yeah, that's it for the summary. That was a long summary. But yeah. So next up in morals, Shammah, you want to take the worldviews?
Okay. So if you've been watching any of the other videos in the series, you've probably heard Pristine say that Messenger isn't a Christian author, and it's true. While there are some definitely good moral standards, I thought in the book there was more lying and rule breaking than necessary. Like when Sophie and Fitz sneak off to meet Keith without telling Grady or Alden. I can see why Messenger needed to include that. Several vital things in the storyline wouldn't have been possible without it. There are a few mentions of luck, but I found no other prominent worldviews in the book.
Awesome. Thank you, Shammah. So next up is foul language, and I'll take that. So again, there aren't any specific bad words, just mentions of characters saying things that would get them in a whole lot of trouble or things like that. There were also a few mentions of I swear, but in these cases it was the solemn promise definition. Nothing else worth mentioning. So that's it. Shammah, you want to take violence next?
Okay. So, it's kind of funny that while supposedly elven minds can't tolerate violence or killing or the guilt that will break them, there are some abilities like Inflictor. But then again, Sophie has the ability to inflict positively, so it's not necessarily bad. There's also mention of Keith wanting to kick Brant in the junk when he woke up. There are definitely some fight scenes and a great detail with action, but just one death with the sword. But we didn't get the description of the actual killing, and Sophie arrived soon after it happened. There was some good detail of the wound and the blood coming from it, so I recommend mild caution if you're sensitive about that stuff.
Okay, thank you. So, and last up for the morals is romance. So I think that by now the love triangle, or as Keith says, you might as well just get real and call it a square, is fully obvious. And if any of you are wondering why there isn't a Team Sofex or Deefy, you will find out in Nightfall. Even though there is that love triangle, I wouldn't even call it that because Sophie has no idea still. It didn't get super awkward or anything, and definitely not inappropriate. There was one other thing, though, which I think is minor because it didn't include super specific details, but I'll just put in the description nonetheless. Yeah, so that's it for morals. So I'm going to give my rating recommended age level now, and then Shammah will give hers. So I'm going to rate this 5 stars again. Keeper is seriously in the top 3 favorite book series I've read ever. I'm still not sure why the supposed age level is 8 to 12. I really think the storyline is too complicated for 8-year-olds to understand. I think the youngest that should read it is 10 to 11 plus. The content for this book at least is okay for 10 maybe, but I still love the series, and this book was a definite game changer. And I've often thought, why is the series so long? But when you read it, you really can't take anything away. Trust me, every single page and every single sentence is worth it. By the way, I had a super epic level of freak out when I found out Julian was Squall. I also hated Keith at the end of Neverseen and most of Lodestar, and I only forgave him after he came back. But yeah, putting my character issues aside, Shammah, would you like to give your rating and review now?
Okay, so I'd give Lodestar a 4 out of 5. It wasn't my favorite, but I did love all the shockers and the cliffhanger. Like when I found Julian was Squall, I think I almost threw the book across the room. I was so shocked. But the cliffhanger was totally Messenger style. And I would give this book to a 10-year-old. I think it's a bit too complicated for an 8-year-old to understand, but a 10-year-old should be able to understand it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. That pretty much wraps up our review today. So yeah, make sure to comment, subscribe. I have links to this book in the description below, so check those out. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Guys, just really quick before Storytime with Shona, I know you guys are probably all dying to watch that, and trust me, it's going to be awesome. I'm just going to give you a really quick update about my summer uploading schedule. Okay, so as you might have noticed, I usually upload on Sundays, and I uploaded Neverseen in the middle of the week because, yeah, anyways, I had a meeting with Michaela on Monday, and I decided to just edit it and upload it. I think it's up on Thursday, I'm not sure, but yeah. I think for the summer, my upload is going to kind of be all over the place because I have different camps and classes that I'm doing. So you might not expect a video every single Sunday. It might not, sometimes it might be 2 videos in a week, sometimes it might be only 1 on a different day. And yeah, so I apologize, but I am busy, and it's with a thing called life. Don't know if you ever heard of it, but yeah. So, okay, enough of my talking. Basically, my point is that my upload schedule is going to be kind of weird. So yeah, go ahead and watch Storytime with Shona now. She handed Fitz a round silver tin, and he popped the lid off immediately. "Ripple Fluffs?" he asked, smiling his first real smile in days.
I would smile a real grin if someone gave me a silver tin of treats. In fact, just thinking about it, I'd be bouncing off the walls. I would go on sugar high. I'm gonna be on one. I'm better now. Okay, carry on.
The silver-wrapped treats were what might happen if a brownie and a cupcake had a fudgy, buttery baby, with a candy surprise sunken into the center. Sophie's adoptive mother, Adeline, had taught her the recipe and helped her invent 2 flavor combinations. "How did you know that chocolate and mint is my favorite?" Fitz asked, peeling off the silver wrapper and devouring the whole fluff in one bite.
What a pig! Didn't his mom ever teach him to chew before he swallows? What a pig! How disgusting! How rude! How gross! Oh, I can't stand the thought.
Shona, you never chew your food before you swallow it, and you usually eat treats in one bite.
Oh, yes, true. Oh, point taken. Carry on. Yeah, carry on.
I didn't, Sophie admitted. If I had, I wouldn't have given you any of the butter toffee ones.
Wow, I wonder why you wouldn't want to eat these super delicious sounding stuff. I mean, like, if you never want to eat them, I know, like, I'd always be happy to. Like, you could just send them to a certain person or dog, like, addressed to Shona, and she'll be happy to clean them up and fix them up for you if you have no need for them. I'm the fixer, fooder, upper eater. Yeah, that's me.